I think that the challenge is to, in the noise that exists in society, telling you to be like everybody else, telling you to look media-worthy, to keep true to yourself, because that is your only strength, you know, and to kind of find who yourself is, you know, in the middle of all that noise, and find teachers and find allies that really pump up your inner truth. I mean, it sounds kind of like, oh wow, the inner truth. No, but that is your strength, because otherwise you're going to be fighting to be somebody that you're not, and you will never be. So that's I think where a lot of people fall off the cliff, you know, and Latinos are definitely prone to that.
You start to feel like you're part of this collective, like there is one Latino voice, right. And you have to, and I think that there is that box that's checked off by the networks and the studios also. He's the Latino voice, she's the Latina woman. Each of you has a different voice, and I think that when you come in the room, I just cast a pilot, and there was a role written for a guy named Danny Rivera. And we cast an African-American guy. Because all of the Latino actors who came in were trying to do something that they didn't understand. They were trying to check the box off themselves. They were not, they were missing their own voice. When
you talk about the Latino voice, that implies that it's just a kind of monocultural, monolingual thing. And the first thing I learned when making A Better Life was that, oh man, there's Guatemala in LA, there's Honduras in LA, Salvador in LA, Mexican in LA. And so I think, you know, actors are sometimes faced with a really tough choice of like, well, am I trying to be the person who's cast no matter what the part is, or am I trying to make sure that there are more Latinos represented as Latinos in American culture? That's a tough one. The answer probably is, you just go for the roles that are good, and perhaps you just go for the roles that aren't good just because you want to work.
My feeling is it's your role to lose. You have it. You start with an A, okay? You have the role. Then we start chipping away at it.
One of the interesting things that I deal with all the time is a casting specification called, we want actors who speak with a neutral Spanish accent. But what's fascinating, going back to the point about an actor bringing their authentic self, I was in a callback a few weeks ago, and this one agency had just been killing us with the accent thing. Like, these brilliant actors who are great every other way, but they're like, oh, the accent is not neutral. The accent is, I was just like, I don't know what to tell you, right? The dialect coach says yes, right? But we're sitting in the callbacks, and this one guy's on, it's his turn, and he had such charisma and such presence, and he was having so much fun with the scene, that the agency creative turns to me, and she's like, he's clearly from Cuba, but he's just so great.
So if you want to work in commercials, you need to understand that the Chilango from El DF is not the sound that you need to have a neutralized, or, you know, the Puerto Rican from the South Bronx is, we don't need to be doing that. Unless it's for that particular character. And then you need to know what the differences are in each one of those so that you can manifest that. I mean, the British actors do it, so that you come to them as a talented, clean, kind of open palette, and whatever that role requires, you try to give it the best you can, and then infuse it with what makes you special, because each one of you have a specialty, whether it's emotionality or, you know, it could be 100 different things.